Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and this time we are going to repair a Samsung washing machine. This applies to LG, Daewoo, Mavic for all front loads, since this failure is usually in common quotes because the tub sounds when turning. Then look, this Tina already fell here. I can easily say that it was the crossbar. Why? Because if they were the Valeros it would not rotate, it would not have so much play, and if it would rotate in this case it no longer rotates, then the D-pad 100%. So if you only wanted to know the fault is the D-pad, they can be Valeros and everything, but in this case we are going to learn how to change the D-pad. You can also learn here to change valos, stamps, and all. This video is going to last quite a bit. Unfortunately it will last about 15 minutes, about 13 minutes, but I am going to make it as summarized as possible and it will be as complete as possible. Then I invite you to, if you like my content, like, comment, share, subscribe to the description. You can make donations, you can become a member, follow us on Facebook if you have any questions. And well, let's go to the video. We remove the screws from the back. This is quite easy to do and quite common. So to remove the front part, we just remove the soap dispenser that everyone takes off the same. We press it there where it says push, everyone brings it, and we pull it to the front. If I make a mistake in some little thing or something, excuse me, since I'm going to talk a lot In this video we remove the screws from the top of here. The white part sometimes does not have screws, it has only staples, and it is pulled to the front part goes. In this case also usually the water dispenser has to be removed because there are times that it gets in the way, but well, let's remove it. Practically already removes the soap dispenser that only has a screw. The others bring him here in front, so depending on it you have to check it carefully, and everything comes out back so as not to break any piece, since all this is plastic and you can break it quite easily. Remember to disconnect your washing machine well to avoid problems. Disconnect the pressure at the beginning about 10 seconds so that it discharges, so that you do not have problems of any internal short due to the capacitors and everything. We disconnect the card. I recommend that if you see the parts sulfated or something, let's clean with isopropyl alcohol. If not, don't get in trouble and don't do anything. We remove the screws from this part up here, the screws from the locks, and we remove the ring, the strap or the metal belt that hugs the bellows. That, as we can see, you can perceive very little, but at the bottom you can see a spring. You can remove it quite easily with a flat screwdriver or flat screwdriver, but very carefully to prevent you from damaging the bellows, because if you don't you're going to get high and it will come out worse. The bellows is not so economical, so since we remove it, it is removed forcibly, forward not backwards, and it comes off quite easily. This plastic can also be cleaned. You can wash it with hot water depending on if it is very dirty. Yes. No, also don't get into fights. Well, right now we have removed the screws. We have already removed the part of the bellows you saw. Since everything is in front, it also has two screws at the bottom, also have to be removed here, and also at once remove here. I had gone from telling you, but remove the part of the pump. To remove that we only throw away with a screwdriver the little eyebrow that grabs the part of the door, and look, here I want to remove it, but the part of the pump hinders me a little, so if you don't have the bottom part there is no problem, you don't have to remove it, but in this case I will have to remove it because the bottom part gets in the way to bend or tilt the washing machine. You can also, and well, look, we have everything here practically. Right now we are going to try to disconnect everything, whether they are hoses, everything that I grab that avoids removing the tub. This hose, the shock absorbers, I also recommend you remove them better. Remove the two shock absorbers, also remove the connection of the resistance, the shock absorber on this side, the hose, this one that is from the pump, we have to remove all that to avoid breaking any hose, and we remove the screws. Brings quite a few screws around. Then I am going to summarize all this, which has no relevance for the video, and well, we remove all the screws. Since we have all the screws removed, we remove this metal part and the back, the one that you can see the line that carries the rubber band, this grey sponge. Since we removed all this, as you can see, it no longer has screws. Here you can see that it has a little nut in the central plastic tub. Why? Because if you have it in the workshop you can lift it and it is quite easy to change it, but where I am working it is not possible. It is a small space, is one of the departments that I am not on the 12th floor, so here I have to do it, and well, I do it alone. So I'm just doing it and I'm not very strong, let's say. Then you can do it too, it's just a matter of practice. We remove the shock absorbers from the top, or the springs, and we remove the shock absorbers or suspensions from the bottom to open it up, already removing the Screws and everything, we just put the screwdriver in it and we make a little lever to the side. Be careful because inside it has like a rubber band, then that rubber band will serve us. Later on we are going to remove this part to the front. Remember that you already disconnected everything so as not to damage anything, and only we put it aside so that it does not get in the way. Since we remove the front part of the lid, we already have the tub here, and as we can see, if it were the Valeros the tub should not come out, but as it is the crosshead it should come out, so here we go. Let's see that the crosshead is already broken. Ready, there you can see at the bottom that it is already broken. Right now we are going to see in the tub, but this metal many call antimony, another cast iron. This material corrodes by pouring excess soap or powdered soap. I recommend you to put cold pills on them, cleaning from time to time, so that this does not happen to you. And here we already have everything downstairs. You saw the tubs, all this. Then you have to have a lot of patience because it is a little time to do this washing machine to disassemble and assemble, because if you are alone you can throw yourself over 2 hours in the repair. Then if it is something heavy and stressful, and more if there is no place to work here, I will practically dry clean it because I cannot throw water here either. There is nowhere to wash, so you have to wash with a sponge and be dipping in a bucket, and that's it. Here we are going to remove the screws. Usually the screws are capped, almost always capped, so to also remove the back of the crosshead we have to remove the cap or the stator protector or the engine cover as it is commonly called. For this only remove the screw that comes in the back and it comes out by itself. Look back with the magnet. All this is quite easy to remove. That's why I don't put so many things to remove the seal in front. The seal in front of this is not bad, what you see in there. It's not water, it looks clean, but anyway I always recommend you to change the seal. The Valeros are in super good condition, those are not going to be changed, but the seal that I always recommend you to change it right now. Let's wash it. As I tell you, I have to dry clean a little here. I am not in my workshop as comfortable as I would like. We have already removed the crosshead. The crosshead practically when disassembling broke, as well as the screws here. I recommend you change all the screws at once. They also sell them separately. Unfortunately they sell you everything separately, and well, yes, it is also expensive. The repair of this washing machine, if it is expensive you will not get the thing of a top-load washing machine. Then keep in mind that it is expensive, or if the technician also tells you that it is high, then it is high. Also make a budget with other technicians or something, because there is many that do stain on the prices, but it is high at once. I tell you, we are going to give it a cleaning. Then since we wash everything we are going to continue working so that you are already going to cut it, and that's it. Look, as you can see it already looks quite clean. I only washed the upper part. I am missing the sides here. It is already clean, but as I tell you I am washing it in sections. Here inside I also recommend you clean. You have to clean with isopropyl alcohol or thinner, this part of here where the seal is going to go, so that it does not have water, and we do not have humidity problems also in those parts up here. As we can see that the tub was gluing, we have to be careful that it has not broken it, because if it has already broken we have to also replace the tub. To put the crosshead it is quite easy. Only we indicate the height where the holes go and we hit it towards the bottom, either with a rubber hammer or with the end of the hammer with the wood, to avoid breaking it, because if you break it, we are talking about the crosshead being the most expensive screws. We already have them on the right side. You also saw how I tell you all the screws are going to be changed here. It didn't look good. You have to put it. Unfortunately, as I say, I'm recording alone. There's no one to help me, and well, these things I'm going to make cuts, but it's quite a lot. Easy to put it on, just don't hit it too hard with the hammer if you're not going to break it. As I say, I haven't washed these parts and here it is. You can see that the holes are crooked, but no, they're already perfect. What happens because of the inclination of the cell phone and everything looks as if it were crooked, but there is no loss because the holes are going to give you the indication. Here as you can see the tub on the sides is already clean. Also the central part we already cleaned with thinner and everything. Here many of them. What do they do to put the seal? They put oil on it, they put glue, silicone. What I do, I put it like this, without silicone, without anything. Why? Because usually what the seal has to do is seal, so if you put oil on it, there are times that with a vibration it will throw off on its own. What I recommend is better to put silicone on the outside, but very little, just to prevent it from being released. It is thrown away by itself since we have all this part. Notice that the Crosetto is already here. Let's put it in. Since it's inside, you can turn it and you can realize that it's pretty good down here where we have that piece of metal. You have to be careful to put the lid on because if it can't shock the resistor that heats the water, then or that it reheats in the cycle. Since we have all this well in place, we are going to put the dampers and the screws, practically the same method we did to disassemble, but now in reverse, put all the screws. First of all, since we have all the screws in place as right now here it is, we already have all the screws in place, we are going to proceed now to put the shock absorbers for this. If it is something heavy because you have to load the tub, but if you were able to remove them you will be able to put them in is more easy to remove them. Just check the position in which you removed them. If you don't know what the position is there, it tells you only. There is practically no loss here. We also connect the shock absorbers or screw the shock absorbers. Since the shock absorber is on, we put its screw and that's it. Now let's go to start connecting all the hoses, everything that we have removed. You remember that we removed the hose from the pressure switch, which is this one, that is this long one that is here. This is the hose of the pressure switch that we are going to put it on. We are also going to put the hose of the water dispenser. We are going to put the hose of the drain pump. We clean what we cannot clean, but look, we are going to put everything we remove. Remember that you should not forget anything because if you don't it will be left throwing water or you will to be able, or even the engine is going to burn or something. In this case it is very difficult, but there are others that have a normal engine at the bottom. There you can burn, not here, but well, you have to avoid that since we have everything connected. Look, you saw here the only thing that needs to be connected is that hose that you see on the right, which is the pump hose, that right now we have to connect it also so that it does not throw water at us, and that's it. Everything is connected now. If we are going to put the part of do you remember the one we removed? Like the metal plug of this part, because this one just has to check its position in which it goes. You have to put this one in the video I don't show, but there was another one that went from the front to the back. That one is put on. It just has a screw. There is no loss. I forgot to record it, but well, there is no problem. It is not mechanical at all. In fact, even if you don't put it, you don't have so much anger. It doesn't get out of balance. Now we are going to put the door. The door is put below. It has two eyebrows. It is only placed diagonally to 45 more or less. We connect the lock. As you removed it, you connect it to the door again with its screws as it goes. Look, and now that it's ready, we're going to close the lid. Here I still don't put the screws of the red cover because we are going to put the bellows on it. Remember that we removed it just as you pulled it, and as it was seen that it came out, we are going to proceed to put it as with a small fold, a small inclination, pushing it. Here I am going to leave you a mini sample of how it is put so that it does not let's have a problem. Look, so and now you are pushing it, and so you are taking it until the whole contour of the bellows is on, and now we are only going to put it now with the ring. Remember to put these parts to the springs that grip the tub, because if not, in a jump you can get out. It is difficult, but it can happen. Now we only put the belt. Ingeniatellas is quite easy, and since we have all this, we pull the part of the bellows to see that we do not have something loose. If it gets to bounce, it is that it is badly placed, then we have to do it again here. If it should not look bad at all, it should be perfect. Check the cover that grips well with the safety and everything, that you have not put it upside down. I know it would be illogical, but well, now we put now with all the screws of the part of the red cover. Since you put all the screws, we are going to have to put the plastic part of the top part you see. These are quite easy to put this one on. Practically you can fix it, and then you mount the red lid under pressure, but as you settle here, we already have practically fixed this. Here on the left side is the dispenser of the water, also already put on, or the soap. I tell you, the water Because that's where the solenoid valves come in, but it's also the soap dispenser here we connect. Remember to pass the cables well so that you don't forget them, and we fix them. You have to connect them as I tell you that they won't happen to you, because if not, it won't turn on or something, since we have all this connected. We connect the stator, or rather we put the stator cover. Sorry, this is only put in motion now. It is a pitch to make it go down. You have to be careful because they are magnets, and if those magnets break, say goodbye to your cover. It has to be replaced. And only with a screw that it carries, it will pull it if the central arrow is pushed. This is the screw that I tell you, and well, this washing machine is practically already left, and all you need to do is assemble the top part as I tell you, nothing. But it lacks the central part of the iron that it was carrying. We connect it, we put the hood of the pump that we remove, we put the pump, everything you removed from here below. We clean the pump also that you don't forget, and that's it. We are going to put it to work here as you can. See, look, nothing comes out and turns quite perfect here. I'm going to turn it on in a cycle. I'm going to put a tablet preferably on it to give it another cleaning. This washing machine doesn't have a drum wash or self-cleaning, so we're going to put it on maximum load and let hot water enter, and well, practically this washing machine is already there. Remember that if you like my content, like, comment, share, subscribe. All the details are in the description in case you want to join my other channel or Facebook if you want to make a donation or become a member. And ready, look, we already have this washing machine working perfectly. I'm going to leave you as you hear after it was already repaired, and as you can see, it's quite quiet.